What's up guys, my name is Ace, and a big question that's been up in the air for a little while now with Black Ops 6 is, will our double XP tokens from Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3 carry forward into Black Ops 6? And a little while back, we got an answer to this question. I just haven't gotten around to covering it until now, and the answer to this is no. They will not be carrying over directly to Black Ops 6. However, they will still be available in Warzone, and once the integration happens, we will have shared progression between Black Ops 6 and Warzone. And when it comes to this topic, I did want to share my opinion on this a little bit, even though I know it's going to be unpopular with many. And in this first part here, I wanted to look at Black Ops 6 in isolation, separate from Warzone, and share my thoughts on double XP tokens not carrying over to Black Ops 6 multiplayer from Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3. Then after that, we'll talk about how my opinion changes when Warzone and shared progression are mixed into the equation. But looking at Black Ops 6 in isolation, my opinion of this is a good thing for Black Ops 6. And on top of that, it's not a surprising thing at all either. In fact, I've had a lot of people asking me for months now, will double XP tokens carry forward from Modern Warfare 2/Modern Warfare 3 into Black Ops 6? And my answer has always been, we don't know yet, but I don't see why they would carry forward because Black Ops 6 is a new game with a totally different progression system compared to Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3. Why should something that you've done in a completely different game allow you to progress twice as fast in another game? Also, maybe I'm just an old guy in the community now, and the mindset these days is very different from back in my day, but I personally enjoy the grind. I enjoy the process of starting with practically nothing and working my way up, unlocking things along the way, and therefore increasing my power as a player in the process. For me, the journey is the fun part, or at least a huge part of the fun part, and it makes the game far more interesting because there's a progression in how the game actually plays for you as you go from level 1 up to level 55. You start weak, you have to get by with what you've got. This forces you to use variety as well, which is a good thing in my eyes, forcing people to try out different things and play around with different things. You have to overcome adversity by being limited, and you will be rewarded for that as you become more powerful with more options over time. And when looking at Call of Duty, working your way through a prestige, the games that you play within the first 10 levels of your prestige are going to be vastly different from the last 10 levels of your prestige. And I think that's a great thing because it's not just a flat experience, it's a journey that you progress through. And this is why I'm so excited for traditional prestige to return to Call of Duty. If you like that journey, you can choose to go through that up to 10 times. And if you don't want to go through the journey, you don't have to. You can stop at any point. You'll have all of your class items unlocked once you hit level 55. You don't have to prestige. And I think that's just the best of both worlds. In my eyes, that's far better than the recent seasonal systems where you hit that max rank within the first week or two of the game being out, and then it's a pretty flat experience from there on out, because you always just have all of your class items unlocked, and there's no more adversity to climb through to build up your power as a player. Now, like I said, maybe that's just an old school mindset these days, and now it seems many would prefer to boot up the game for the first time, hit an unlock all button and max prestige button, so they have everything unlocked and they're already at the maximum prestige. And to me, that's just skipping so much of the experience of what the game has to offer. Having everything unlocked leads to a very flat experience, there's no more adversity, and there's no more sense of accomplishment or reward for overcoming adversity. So circling back to the double XP tokens not carrying forward, if they did carry forward double XP tokens, many of us have dozens or even hundreds of hours of double XP saved from Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3. So if it did carry forward, we could keep double XP active through most, if not all, of the prestige grind, like all the way up to master prestige. We could have permanent double XP active. So it wouldn't feel like a fresh start. It wouldn't feel like a brand new game that we're playing with Black Ops 6. And that would be a massively unfair grinding advantage versus players that didn't play Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3, since they wouldn't have dozens or hundreds of hours of double XP tokens saved up. And it also significantly devalues the prestige system. When you see a prestige 10 player, that should mean that that player has really invested the time and effort to get there. But if some prestige 10 players got there with permanent double XP active, and others did it with no double XP, that's a very different experience and a very different meaning to that player's level. It completely throws off the value of that Master Prestige because a Master Prestige player might actually technically only be a Prestige 5 player if they didn't have that permanent double XP, and you'll never really be able to know which group that player fell in, if they're actually a Prestige 5 player or if they're actually a Prestige 10 player at that point. Now, for many people, they'll say they don't care about Prestige being devalued because it has no value in the first place. But again, that's totally fine. If you don't value Prestige to begin with, you can stop prestiging at any time you want. You don't have to go through the process of 10 prestiges. You can go through just a couple prestiges if you want, or no prestiges at all. You can just stay at level 55, no prestige, the entire game's life cycle if that's what you choose, and if you don't value prestige. Additionally, just a couple points here. The prestige system in Black Ops 6 isn't going to be seasonal like recent years. It's your entire player progression for the entire year. It's available day one. And therefore, it should be a long grind that keeps the average player engaged with the game and progressing through the game for months on end if they choose to go through the prestige grind. Now, of course, there's going to be the outliers. There's going to be the people that don't sleep and all they do is play the game, and they're going to get Prestige Master in like a month or two. But for the average player out there, this sort of a grind should be taking a good chunk of the life cycle of Black Ops 6. On top of that, when it comes to double XP tokens carrying forward, in my eyes, double XP should really mean something. It should feel special. It shouldn't feel like that's the default progression rate because you're able to experience it 24/7 for so long. And then anytime you don't have double XP, it just feels like you're actually playing with half XP. So that's my take on double XP tokens carrying forward and why I feel they shouldn't carry forward. I think the value of the progression system gets completely thrown out the window if you allow people to carry double XP forward from a totally different game. And that's really a big key for me as well. I want Black Ops 6 to feel like a brand new, totally different game where everybody has a fresh start, we're all starting from scratch, and not just an extension of Modern Warfare 3. Now, I have seen several arguments against this, and I did want to cover some of them since I anticipate many of these will be popping up in the comments if I don't, and many of them probably still will because people don't tend to watch the videos before leaving the comments. But one of the arguments is I earned these double XP tokens fair and square, so I should be able to use these double XP tokens. And you're right, you did earn these double XP tokens fair and square in and for Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3, and you can still use those tokens that you earned in those games for those games. You didn't earn those tokens in Black Ops 6, you didn't earn those tokens for Black Ops 6, since it's never been indicated that these tokens would carry over to Black Ops 6, and the only time we've ever seen tokens carry over in the past in Call of Duty is from Modern Warfare 2 to Modern Warfare 3. That was an anomaly, that was a totally different year for this franchise. So I don't think that argument holds a lot of weight, it's a different game. Next up, something I've seen pop up quite a bit is I don't get very much time to play the game, so I should be able to carry all my double XP tokens forward and use them. And my answer to this is a huge part of the value of a progression system, and especially an optional prestige system like Call of Duty uses, is it takes time, effort, sacrifice, and a level of dedication to achieve that max rank, to achieve Prestige Master. If it's something that everyone can easily achieve by only putting in a couple hours here or there, then it doesn't have even close to the same level of value. This is called Prestige Master, not Prestige just showed up every once in a while. Now, my thoughts would be totally different if we were talking about grinding just to gain access to the playable class items in the game, but again, that's the beauty of the traditional prestige system. It's a very reasonable grind for anybody to get from level 1 to level 55, and therefore gain access to all of your class items in the game, but we're talking about prestige, which is purely optional, and it's designed to reward dedication, not just showing up from time to time and putting a little bit of time into the game. This is the big accomplishment, the big reward for people that do dedicate themselves to this game. In any activity or sport or hobby, it's totally fine to participate in those very casually, and you shouldn't be expecting to get that gold medal or achieve a certain level of mastery with that hobby or that thing that you're participating in. The big accomplishments, the big rewards, that should be reserved for the people that truly dedicate themselves to it, because that's what gives those rewards their value. So those are my overall thoughts on double XP not carrying forward for Black Ops 6 multiplayer. But again, like I said at the beginning, that's just looking at Black Ops 6 multiplayer in isolation. And unfortunately, the situation in the real world gets a whole lot muddier here because Warzone is also mixed into the equation. And with Warzone, the double XP tokens will carry forward. Which makes sense because it's not like we're getting a brand new Warzone, it's the same Warzone, just integrated with Black Ops 6. And that includes a shared progression system with Black Ops 6. And as much as ideally I don't want those double XP tokens to carry forward into Black Ops 6, the fact is, it would be so much worse if they took those double XP tokens that people earned in Warzone for Warzone away from them so they could no longer use it in Warzone. But then, if you're able to use it in Warzone, does that just open up the ability to do what we used to be able to do in Black Ops Cold War, and I think you could do it in Vanguard as well, where the double XP tokens didn't carry forward, but you could just boot up Warzone, pop one of those double XP tokens, and then just swap over to the multiplayer of that game, and you would still be able to take advantage of the double XP token in the multiplayer version of that game where they didn't actually carry forward. I suspect we may be able to do that again this year with Black Ops 6, And honestly, at that point, if that's possible, then they may as well just carry over the double XP tokens, so you don't have to jump through hoops and do a workaround in order to gain that double XP that you do have full access to technically. Now, I do think that's unfortunate because of the entire beginning of this video. I would prefer Black Ops 6 to feel like a brand new, completely separate game with its own separate progression system, but quite simply, that's not how it's going to work. We're having a shared progression, once again, with Warzone. And if progression is shared and one side of the equation has access to double XP but the other side doesn't, then that is a problem, and I don't like the inconsistency there, and it should just be consistent across both of those games. Now, in a perfect world, if it were up to me, I would completely separate player progression from Warzone and multiplayer, largely because traditional prestige doesn't really make sense with Warzone. It's probably one of a few reasons that they got rid of traditional prestige in the first place, was to accommodate the upcoming Warzone at the time. But yeah, with a battle royale, I don't think you should necessarily have to like level up to unlock your perks and stuff, especially not multiple times over. It doesn't make nearly as much sense in a battle royale compared to multiplayer. So yeah, if it were up to me, I would separate player progression entirely from Warzone to multiplayer. They can keep their double XP tokens then for Warzone because it's a different progression system. However, I would still keep shared weapon progression. I think that is sort of the important part to share between Warzone and multiplayer. And in that case as well, as it is right now, it's typically a lot more effective to be leveling up your guns in multiplayer. Even if you're a Warzone player, it makes sense to go into multiplayer, play some Nuketown or some Face Off or something just to blast through some weapon levels really quickly. And as a result, I wouldn't necessarily be opposed to Warzone keeping their double weapon XP tokens while not having access to use them in Black Ops 6 at all, even with that workaround where you pop it in Warzone and then move over to Black Ops 6. Now, unfortunately, that's just me thinking about my ideal situation. That's not actually how it's going to be working. And with how it is going to be working, the fact that we do have shared progression between multiplayer and Warzone, and the fact that Warzone's going to have access to these double XP tokens, but multiplayer isn't, that just doesn't quite sit right with me. I guess at the end of the day, a big question that we will have to wait to find out is, will we be able to use that workaround? Will you be able to just pop your double XP token in Warzone, hop into multiplayer, and still have it active? Time will tell on that one, and I'll be sure to keep you guys posted on that as well once we find out. I think we won't find out about that until the launch of Season 1, though, because I think that's when everything starts becoming shared between Warzone and multiplayer, not right at launch for the game. But in either case, those are just my opinions on this situation, and I'd love to hear from you guys in those comments down below. How are you feeling about the fact that our double XP tokens will not be carrying forward from Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3 into Black Ops 6's multiplayer? And then, what are your thoughts on the Warzone situation mixed into the equation as well, where they will have access to these double XP tokens, but Black Ops 6 multiplayer won't, despite the fact that they're sharing progression? Just let me know all of those thoughts down below. If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.